All right, everybody. I'm going to go over basically the midterm and the final in a way that hopefully makes it clear what I'm looking for. When you review the midterm and the final, the midterm is the preliminary portion of it. It's where you're going to be reviewing and looking at all these different websites that Mr. Fribalski has provided. These are a lot of different coffee shops that he's said that he likes. And one of the things that you want to do is see how they're similar and see how they're different. And look at the kind of content that they have. And I want you to basically take the content that is what you think in line with what the client would want, set it up, and show it the way that you think the client would like to see. So a gallery, I want you to think about the typography. I want you to think about the text, the words that are being said. And invest in the story of the client. When you go back and you read about the story about Donut Delights, you're going to get history. You're going to understand he was an immigrant baker, all right? He's from Poland. You're going to see that he landed here in 1970s from New York City. And you can hopefully get a feel for who the client is and kind of the story. And then I want you to build off of that. I want you to add your own personality, your own ideas based on the other kinds of things that you're seeing in other businesses. So you're going to go to Jones Coffee Roasters and you're going to look at how do they have things set up. They got a search bar. Maybe Melvin would want a search bar. Maybe he would want to have these social media tags up at the top along with the logo. Just looking at the structure of the website, does it stick in place or does it move up? Here's a nice gallery. What's in the gallery? Really nice close-ups of coffee beans, people working. So these are the kinds of things that you could be looking for to add into your concepts that you want to be using. Notice how he's got things broken down here. We've got coffee club subscriptions. This would be a nice place for your forms, when you go here and you have the ability to sign up for a newsletter. The simplicity of all these things, color palettes. And so this kind of stuff is really important. Not only that, but the kinds of things people are saying. You can take some of these things and you can change them, but you can basically keep things, well, they're missing a page, so you don't want to do that. You don't want to have a client or a page that does that. But you can see how they break these things down in. Now, hopefully you're thinking, oh, I've done that before. This is a column 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 3, 3, 3, and 3 column. Notice how they're showcasing. This could be a menu. This could be something that you do to showcase all the different types of donuts that have been here. Pistachio, pinwheels, Boston creams, French twist, bullhorns, all of those things with this content. So you need to be looking. Here's another website. What do they all share? What do they share? They all kind of have this navigation up at the top. They all kind of have this nice big banner. But also it's the way they have typography, the way they lay out their information, and you can make all of this stuff to add in. Maybe you want to break things down like this: wellness and nutrition. Maybe you want to propose that you put together a wellness section where you talk about health. Maybe you want to have a searching mechanism where you could find locations. Maybe you want to propose there's a frequent customer card. These are all the kinds of things I want you to incorporate, because the client doesn't know that much about web design or what's possible necessarily. They're going to tell you what they know or what they want, but you still need to bring in new content that they maybe haven't thought about. That's what they're relying on you to do. So if you want to put in coffee partnerships and jobs and that sort of thing as content on the page, that's the kinds of thing I'm looking for. Promotionals, show personality. What kind of person do you think what kind of person do you think Melvin is? What would he like? Is he fun? Is he very serious? Is he fun and zany and likes a sense of humor? Or is he very serious, like a serious hardcore baker? You can decide how you want to present your website, but I'm expecting you to not just have the basic content. Like, yeah, you've been given the basics, but I want you to go out there and find pictures of famous celebrities eating donuts and make blurbs that, add content to their comments section. So you go to these coffee shops and you can look and see in areas where the customer has the ability to make comments about something. And you can add that on their pages. You've seen that, where people review the restaurant. So add customer reviews, add that sort of content. We want to see a map. So where can you find the restaurant? So I want you to be thinking about those things, different types of searches, and this kind of stuff would be great. So you get a little bit of an idea of what's possible here by just the client's own just raw information. But then you need to run with it and say, okay, I'm going to also propose to the client that we have these X, Y, and Z. And so I'm going to show you some examples of some student works where they've done just that. So here's a student project. We've got home, got these nice pictures of donuts, very whimsical, kind of fun. Nice typography here. We've got a contact page where we're going to have a nice form. Got some nice reviews from the customer. Here's one from Homer Simpson. Here's one from Max Black. Here's one from Tony Stark. And this is all good stuff. This shows personality. This shows that you're thinking about what's possible. Here's a nice map showing the location of the restaurant. And then some cool like facts. And this is what I love when you start coming up with your own facts about donut history and throwing it in there to show personality, to show that you're really thinking and engaging in what this person is. It's not all about donuts necessarily, but it's about coffee shops. It's about getting together, people getting together. Here's a nice kind of like Pac-Man shaped thing with the nice colors. These are some nice rollovers. As you roll over them, they talk about the best sellers. These are really nice things to add. It looks great, and it shows that you're really thinking about possibilities and you're really out there looking around at other businesses and what's possible. She threw in this nice journey of the donut. Here's part of the story. This is the story, and there's kind of like the journey from Poland. Here's some nice pictures of Poland, New York City. Champaign-Urbana, so some images are coming up here at the bottom. So here, New York, Poland to New York to see you. So here's like the journey of it, some fun typography, and just some really nice thought about what's going on. Another version of this is here. Took the original imagery, has a nice little menu here, navigation menu, a lot of links to different donut types along the side. Oops, on the side there. They've incorporated a nice color palette. They've also they changed the menu a little bit and had some fun with that. Nice the colors. Lots of content over here about Donut Delights. Here's kind of some fun donut facts. This is some content that they added. Wasn't something that the client had written for them. They've added it. Social media things. Some really interesting stuff about the donuts. Here's a nice menu. Here's a nice picture of Jay Leno eating a donut. And here's some basic images and menus, a gallery of some gallery that used did some kind of cool, made it kind of come up with a really neat gallery to use. It's just kind of a fun, something different. But it's, you have to invest. It can't just be just what the client has. I want you to really go out there and look at other sites, look at other websites, and see what they're doing as well. This has a nice look here. This is more of a modern page. Make sure that everything is responsive, that you're doing responsive type pages that are going to respond to the size of the window. And all of these things are really important. But again, having an idea of what you want to add is so important. So look at these different donut shops. Look at how they lay out their content. Look at the kind of stuff that people are saying, and create something similar. Create something that looks good. It talks about the business. And we've done a lot of these things already. I'm not asking you to like create something that we haven't done. I'm just asking you to look at what's out there and stay in the ballpark of what people are doing and what's being done, and make it look like it competes with a regular business. Obviously, there's a lot more to add later as you learn more about web design and adding things that are more complex and that sort of thing. But for now, we're dealing with images. We're dealing with the breakdown of the divisions and adding some content, working on menus and using tables if we have to, and looking at just the different relationships from one side to another. This is nice because you got this nice background image, but this is laying over the top of it and you can kind of see through it. This is a nice look. And so this is using typography like this here, where you are setting apart your H2s or your H3s from your paragraphs or your lists, and making sure that you have a nice consistent, clean looking website. We don't want it to look old. We don't want it to look like it was made with old tech, in the old style. It has to respond and has to work with smaller windows and bigger browsers. So that's super important too. So that's why starting out with a template of some sort that works, but just keep it simple. But utilize your own creativity. Look for interesting things that you think would be a nice touch, and don't be afraid to try something new too. If you want to, if you want to try something, you see something that's interesting, go ahead and try that. But stay consistent with kind of what's out there, abouts and images, and you can use other pictures as well. Realizing that Melvin is a fictional type character, you can find other interesting photos that would work, that would be fun as well. People enjoying the food or the characters themselves. So those things are all super, super important. But do your homework first. Look at all of these, but also look at lots and lots and lots of different websites as well. And just make sure you are really looking and seeing, you're well versed in what's out there and what people are doing, and then compete with that. All right, I hope this was helpful. Have fun working on this project.